just want to start this video off saying a lot can change from here until the draft, and you might be like, no duh, right? But with this linebacker class, we got probably our top 4 is kind of cemented. But after that, man, there's a lot of different guys, and there's going to be a lot of shuffling and a lot of people that feel a lot of different ways. But it's going to be fun to talk about nonetheless. I got you my top 10 linebackers, but what's crack-a-lacking? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro, and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Who are some of your favorite linebacking prospects in this draft class? And if you're trying to get some dope merch and want to support, why support? Support. Why is that such a hard word? Well, you know what ain't hard? It ain't hard getting you some nice Broshmo merch. We got it, Joe. Go check out my Teesprings shop in the description below. I also got some affiliate links if you want to get some sports memorabilia or just some sports merch. So use those if you plan on going out and getting some buying done, especially Christmas. Christmas is coming up. Let's go ahead and get into it. These are guys that I got listed as returners this year. We're going to start with Mike Jones. He hasn't played a lot there at LSU. That's just the case. Small sample size, not going to happen. Henry Toto, he feels very unpolished. A guy that needs to be a better finisher. And I'd like to see him get a bit better in zone coverage. But the guy's a great athlete. Peyton Wilson, he got hurt early on in the season. So I don't know if he'll come out. But if he does, he might be a guy you stick in day 2 because he's a great leader for that team and he's produced very well. The Tulane linebackers, they got an extra year of eligibility. I don't think they're eligible for a Senior Bowl this year, so I see them coming back, as well as Florida State's Amari Gaynor. Let's go ahead, get into the list starting with 10. Leo Chenal out of Wisconsin. This one's kind of weird. This one comes with an asterisk because I really think he could end up an edge prospect. You see that size, 6'2", 261. The guy moves he's a very good downhill athlete in terms of his explosiveness. Laterally, he's all a mess. His movement skills aren't that great. He is not a coverage linebacker. That's just not what he is at Wisconsin. They like to hide that. Just be fair, Jake Sanborn, he's the coverage guy there. And he's a very limited athlete too, but he's a very smart guy too. Not to say Chenal isn't smart. This guy's a phenomenal pass rusher. Over his collegiate career, on 135 pass rushing snaps, 33 pressures, 10 sacks. The guy's powerful. He has a great motor. He's got good length, strong hands. I really think he's going to end up being an edge though. I really think that'll be the case come time. But number 9, Owen Pappoe out of Auburn. Haven't checked out the other Auburn linebacker. I know there'll be a comment down there. He's a hot name for some people. I haven't checked him out, so I didn't put him on the list. He's not even in my rankings yet. I don't like to put guys that I have yet to look at on my rankings. So now that that's settled, Pappoe is another candidate that might return because he's missed time early. He's only played the first 3 games this season, but he's missed time with an injury. He was supposed to return last week. Ended up not being the case. Might return this week, but the guy's a freaky athlete. I think that we get into this portion of the draft class, right, where the linebacker class, you could either go with guys that are like, okay, I know these guys are going to be at least either good depth or, could be solid starters maybe. Or I could take this athletic upside. And that's kind of what Pappoe is. Dude's a freak athlete. His play strength is unbelievable for a guy that's 6'1", 226. Go back to the LSU game in, I think it was 2019, where he pancaked Lloyd Cushenberry at LSU. The dude's playing for the Broncos now. The dude was a day 2 pick, I believe he was day 2. But yeah, that's kind of legit. I like his, again, good athlete, got good mirroring ability in terms of coverage. He could really stick with anybody, but I'd like to see more splash plays from him. He only has 1 pick, 1 pass breakup through his whole collegiate career. This season, missed tackles were kind of a thing, but again, he only played 3 games. 2 of them came in the Akron game. It was first game of the season. I don't know how much I'm really going to weigh that in because he's been a solid tackler for the other 2 seasons he played. significantly larger sample size. So again, I'm not. That's neither here nor there. Probably not going to worry about it. But got another year of eligibility. I think he ends up playing though at sometime this season, and probably will come out just because he is that good of an athlete. He's probably going to set the combine on fire. A guy that I really like in this class. And then number 8, Brian Asamoah out of Oklahoma. This was a dude that I saw that we talked about earlier on in the season, because he was in a lot of mock drafts, and I was just like, man, I really don't see it from this guy outside. He's just a good athlete, But this year's been a big step in the right direction for Brian Asamoah. The dude's 6'1", 228. We already talked about it. Great athlete, and he's improved so much as a tackler this year. He was kind of hovering above that 16% for missed tackle rate, which you get above 15, and then it gets real sketchy. He's under 10. He's got 8.8 missed tackle rate. Phenomenal. This guy's playing the run a whole lot better. He plays violent. I like how he plays violent, like when he has to take on a block. But if he has to take on a block from like an offensive lineman, it kind of becomes a problem. He gets pressure, right? 9 pressures on the season. He had 14 last season with 3 sacks. But that's what, like, if he gets freebies, if like someone misses, like doesn't pick him up on a blitz, he likes to avoid the blocks, especially if they involve 300 plus linemen. He likes to avoid those because this guy, he doesn't play a physical game. I'll say that. In terms of physicality, like he's easily knocked off his balance if he is coming in on a blitz or coming in to play the run. And I think it's most noticeable during the route. If he has to play man coverage, if he's playing someone who is a bit more physical of a receiver, then yeah, there are times he loses out to those guys. And when you're the linebacker, especially in the NFL, you're gonna be matched up on running backs and tight ends, and physicality is kind of their thing. So that did come as a concern for me, but this guy's a headhunter. I like him a ton. I've come around to him just because, again, the play has been such a big improvement upon last season. So a guy that I think could raise his stock this year. I think he already has, actually. And then number 7, Demarion Overshown. He was one of my favorites before the season. Just because the dude is built like Kyle Hamilton, 6'4", 223, freaky length for the linebacker position. He was one of the better coverage linebackers last year. 2 interceptions, 5 pass breakups. Hasn't really been the case this season, but the dude still got good coverage ability, especially with that length. You like that, a length that could block passing lanes. But what we really wanted to see him improve upon was, well, first off, just tackle. You're big. You got that big wingspan, just wrap people up. And that's something, it's improved this year, but not by much. So, I guess steadily he has improved as a tackler through his career. Back in 2019, 26.3 missed tackle rate. Last season it was a 24.1. This year it's a 19.4, which is still should set off alarms in your head. While he's improving, it's still in that danger zone. Thank you, Tom Cruise. But another thing is just improving his overall, just how he plays between the tackles. Like we saw him be very disruptive against Oklahoma. He had 3 pressures and a sack, but he wasn't being picked up in terms of coming in on a blitz. He just wasn't getting picked up. He had free reign in the backfield. And I think it's most noticeable in the run game. Like he just doesn't handle being, like, if he gets engaged by, even a tight end, like he's almost dead in the water in the play. It's real unfortunate, but a guy with that wingspan, that athleticism, I'm willing to take a shot on him. Excuse me. You almost want to maybe play him like as a safety. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of compelling. Real quick, take a look. Like, he played a lot in the slot last year, but I don't know, maybe something to monitor. But a guy that I have liked, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, he's a tradesy guy. That's what it is. And then number 6, I got Chad Muma. I forgot how whoever told me, someone in the comment section told me how it was pronounced, and it's slipped my mind, and I haven't written it in my notes yet, so that's on me. But this guy, man, came out of nowhere for a lot of people. Playing at Wyoming, who would have thought? But Wyoming, man, they produce linebackers occasionally. Logan Wilson, most recent memory, but this guy's been a very sure tackler his whole career. My dog ain't happy, but yeah, very sure tackler. Look at that, 7.5 missed tackle rate. Yeah, 7.5 missed tackle rate through his career. Good short area quickness. Like, I think in terms of being in coverage, he's adequate. I don't think he'll ever be a big liability, like maybe like we were talking about with the Wisconsin linebacker, where that would be a big liability for him in the NFL, being a coverage guy. I don't think that'll be the case for Chad. He is a Chad. Ain't he? But yeah, I guess you get concerned about the level of competition, but I mean, he played well against teams like Fresno State. He played pretty decent, had a couple of missed tackles, but outside of that, like, he gets after the passer too when asked to do so. Like, over the course of his career, on 100 pass rushing snaps, 30 pressures, 6 sacks, like, he's a multifaceted rusher. Whether like he has a variety of different pass rush moves. Doesn't have to be a direct blitz or a stunt. Like, the guy's got some moves. Like, he's a very interesting prospect, and I think he gets a Senior Bowl this year. Hopefully, I think so. But now we're getting to that territory where these are the guys I for sure like. Though I do like Chad a lot. Jestin Jacobs, man, I love his length. He's got legit range. Yo, if you're long and fast, the NFL is going to love you, and I think they're going to love him. 6'4", 236, very sure tackler. He only has, how many missed tackles on the year? 1. 3.4 missed tackle rate. This dude is legit, man. Love the body type. It is a small sample size. He only played 71 snaps last year with the shortened season, and he's only played 255 this year, which means he has under 350 career snaps, at least at Iowa. I have to look in because I do think... no, I guess he's a redshirt sophomore. Okay, so he redshirted his first season at Iowa. Okay, that's very interesting. So, yeah, that's all the tape we're going to get of him. But he played primarily he's like the Brandon Smith in this Iowa offense. If you're familiar with the Penn State linebacker, that's how Brandon Smith played in 2020. That's kind of what Jacobs does for this linebacking core. He plays an overhang role. He has over 126 snaps in the slot. So the guy's a good prospect. There's a lot of meat on the bone when it comes to him as a prospect. Yeah, and this dude just plays the run stupid well. 14 stops this year. Again, 1 missed tackle. You just love it. Number 4, Christian Harris. This is probably going to surprise a lot of people, but this dude, everyone's going to love his athleticism. They're going to love this dude's vicious, powerful playing style. Like, he loves the hits, and he's a sure tackler when he does it. He's only got a 10.6 missed tackle rate this season. And that's actually down from 12% last season. But where he really loses me is the coverage, man. Like, I think if you're going to draft him, you have to you got to be very heavy in terms of playing man coverage with your linebackers. Like, there's teams that do that a lot out there. It's just, I think those are the teams that should really focus on Harris, unless you're going to kind of see him as like a Micah Parsons, because the guy's got legit pass rushing upside. 2020, he had 31 pressures and 6 sacks. This year, 9 pressures, 3 sacks. So the dude's got pass rushing upside out like for days. He can stack blockers. You like that? I don't worry about him in the run game whatsoever. Which might make him more of a first round for a lot of people, but it's just, man, dropping him in zone. He might be I don't know if he's a guy like a Devin White that you help develops in that aspect, or that's going to give you some splash plays and coverage. So you could kind of be content with that. He might give up some big plays in coverage, but he's going to have those big turnovers or those big stops in coverage. I mean, in terms of doing it as a pass rusher, that's very similar to what White has been doing there in Tampa Bay. So maybe now that I'm saying this all out loud, I feel like maybe I'm being a bit too down on Harris. We'll see. We'll see. A lot of season left. I can move him up if I want to. We're going to go to Brandon Smith out of Penn State. This guy is phenomenal in coverage. I love his coverage ability. He played how many snaps? 215 snaps in the slot last season. Now he's playing more of like a weak side linebacker this year. He has 11 pressures and 2 sacks. The guy has been he's been a sure tackler for the most part for his career. This year he's up to an 18 missed tackle rate, which you're like, what? But he was at 13% his other 2 seasons. So he's seeing more volume this year. I think that might be a bit of it. So something just he may have to get used to. But the dude is good, dude. He is a hit. And I think a lot of that is probably the mentality. He is a hit stick waiting to happen. When he was playing that overhang role, like you could go back and look at highlights, man. This guy is coming down, blowing up screens by like Reggie Bush and guys. I forgot who was it that like just clocked Reggie Bush. I think it was probably Malcolm Jenkins. But that just, it's that type of hit stick. Holy moly. The dude's fast, rangy. I love it. I love those type of linebackers. So, of course, I'm going to be more drawn to a guy like Brandon Smith than I probably would a guy like Christian Harris. That just happens to be my type of linebacker. And then at number 2, really it's kind of a 1A, 1B in this regard, but I got Devin Lloyd at number 2. Got a first-round grade on him. He is definitely a different style than the linebacker I got listed at 1. So that's why I say 1A, 1B. It really depends what you're looking for. Like, I love Devin Lloyd's play strength. He has the ability to stack offensive linemen. He's come, in some cases, just as a pure rusher on the outside. He's done that 83 times this year as a pure pass rusher. He has 17 pressures, 5 sacks this season. I like that he's gotten better in coverage this year. We saw with 2 very athletic plays in terms of his interceptions. There were 2 very athletic interceptions. He's got a pass breakup. The guy's been a sure tackler his whole career. He's down to a 9.9 missed tackle rate this year. The dude is a great, uses length, uses leverage. He's got how many stops on the year? 26 stops. The guy plays the run extremely well. He's got good short area quickness. I think he's good at he's a guy that I don't worry about being able to get to the flats and make plays out there, or if he has to follow like a linebacker or so, even a guy in the slot. I don't mind that. That length really helps with clogging passing lanes. So that's why I say he's got limitations in coverage in terms of he's not like a freak athlete like a Christian Harris, a Brandon Smith, Nakobe Dean, who's going to be number 1, but he's pretty darn good. He's just a different style. This guy's going to be a good NFL player. But Nakobe Dean, number 1, dude. I was hesitant with him at the beginning of the year because I saw a lot of Monty Rice in him, who was the guy who Nakobe Dean ended up taking over the job for actually halfway through last season. But Nakobe Dean, man, this guy just plays fast. Go back to that Kentucky game where Kentucky, I think they're in the red zone, and they're going for a screen. No one saw it. No one saw it come in but Dean. And he gets through 3 different blockers to make a play on this screen. Saves a touchdown. Not that I think Kentucky had a chance in that game, unfortunately. But still, this dude was phenomenal. 8.1% missed tackle rate. 9.5 the year before. This guy doesn't miss. He's a sure tackler. In terms of how he is as a pass rusher, he's been very excellent. On only 50 pass rushing snaps this season, 13 pressures, 5 sacks. Last year, 52 pass rushing snaps. He had 11 pressures and a sack. This guy, and how he does it is when he comes in on blitzes, it's not like, I don't think he could take on blocks, because I think he does it well. He's very good at turning speed to power. You know, you hear that a lot with edge rushers, how they turn speed to power, how they turn that get off into power. He kind of does that just coming downhill. There are times where he can stack guys, but he's very nimble between the blocks. He's very hard to get your hands on. He gets real small real quick, being, 6'2", 225. He's kind of small for the position right there, but he gets real nimble, gets in the backfield, and just causes havoc, dismay, destruction. The dude's been so good this season, and again, he's probably going to test out like a monster. It's hard not to like Nakobe Dean. And again, it's really, who's your cup of tea? Are you a Lloyd guy? Are you a Dean guy? I don't think you could go wrong. I like to see Dean in more of a man coverage heavy scheme, but he's shown this year, because Georgia's actually gone to a bit more zone than they traditionally do, and he's shown this year he can deal with that. He has an interception. He's allowed no touchdowns. He's only allowed 10 receptions for 38 yards, and that's on 16 targets. The guy's been good, man. The guy's been good. But that's it for the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and do that YouTube thing. But as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.